Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kushal from IIC TMSL. We welcome you to the webinar of IIC Impact Lecture 2.0. Today's guest speaker of the evening is Mr. Abhishek Gupta. He is the CEO and co-founder at Starters CFO. He is an experienced founder with a demonstrated history of working in the consulting industry. He's skilled in international taxation, audit, financial accounting, and startup consulting. He's a strong entrepreneurial professional with a bachelor's degree focused in BCom from Shriram College of Commerce. Today we shall hear from him on the topic of startup valuation. Sir, now may I kindly request you to take over?
Yeah. So thanks, Kushal. Thanks for the warm introduction. And good evening, everyone. Very nice to meet you all. And it's very enthusiastic when we talk to students and people who want to do startup. So before starting, I would like to know how many of you are planning to do some startup or planning to do some business of your own. So in chat function, we'll try to make this program as interactive session so that we are on the same page and we can get best out of the time we invest this evening. Yeah. So how many of us are planning to do something of our own, or how many of us are enthusiastic about startups? Okay, not many. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So my dear friends, all of us are doing something or the other. So Ritesh Agarwal, when he was 19 years old, he built up a company called Oyo, which is worth 5,000 crore rupees. Okay. So do we consider ourselves to be kids or students? Or do we think that we have an unlimited potential to create some wealth and the name for our country as a whole in the entire world? Nowadays, because of internet, things have differentiated from the past. It's not like that a particular company will take 100 years to expand. In a matter of time, in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we have seen companies like Oyo, Paytm, Flipkart, Snapdeal growing like anything throughout the world. The person, Jeff Bezos, is the richest person on this planet, and he started off his company in 1999. So friends, how does this happen? This happens because all of them had a startup, and that startup, they scaled it to great heights because of their good idea, good execution. They were able to do it. And when they can do, we can too. So we need to have faith in ourselves that we should have something, we should execute our ideas, and that should start as soon as possible. And that idea can take us to any heights. Because of the internet, doing business has really become easy, and all of us should be, exploring things every now and then to make things happen. So in today's seminar, we are going to discuss about the startup valuations. So a question may come into your mind that Amazon, that is the company that is into the losses from the date of inception. So Amazon reported first time profits in the year 2019, right? And Jeff Bezos is the richest person on this planet. So how come a person can be the richest person on the planet when his company is making losses? Similarly, there are other companies like WeWork, which has been valued for 14 billion, which has been valued for 47 billion by SoftBank, and the same company has been valued for $8 billion by same SoftBanks after 8 weeks. So what has happened in this case? There are companies like Uber, Ola, Oyo, which do not have any assets in their balance sheet. Practically, they do not own even a single property or a single taxi. Still, their company valuation is in billions of dollars. So how is it all possible? So in today's session, we are going to discuss about how we value these kind of companies, and that will give you some thoughts to you that what kind of companies you can start with, or if you are already having a startup, what are the steps you should take so that you can value your startups yourself. So I'll start my screen sharing. I hope everyone can see my screen. Just okay. So in today's session, we are going to discuss what do we mean by valuation, what are the different methods of valuation, how to arrive at the valuation, and we'll be going to discuss something about term sheets, right? So what are the factors which determine valuation? You know, there is a startup called Udaan. So when Udaan started, its valuation was already 800, 900 million dollars. How come a startup have a valuation so high when they do not have any revenue? Even their prototype or proof of concept was not ready. So this was possible because the top management of Udaan was the people who have helped Flipkart reach to heights. So when we have some background, when we have some background of doing a successful startup, or when we have a background of some big institute, so definitely that adds to our valuation of the company. So valuation is a subjective matter which depends on a lot of things, that how many customer traction do we have, whether we have prototype or not, how hot is the industry nowadays, what's the reputation of the co-founders, and whether we have a distribution channel or not. So a lot of factors depends on the depends for valuation, and that's why we call that valuation is a scientific art. It is not a science. It's not that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So if you get your company valued from 10 people, you may get 10 valuations, and it's not an art. You may go to a valuer and say that value my company for 10 crore rupees. So is it that valuer will value for 10 crore rupees? So it's not an art that can be done in its own way. So valuation is a science and it is an art, and it is a combination of both. So why it is called science? There are different methods like cost to duplicate method. For example, we have a co-working space. Now for a co-working space, we are doing a valuation of the company, and let's suppose we arrive at a valuation for 30 crore rupees for a co-working space. Now the investor may say, यार 30 करोड़ रुपए के अंदर तो मैं ऐसी 10 co-working space की properties भी खरीद लूंगा, right? So what is the cost to duplicate, as in what investment I can put into the business to replicate that thing? If I have 4 co-working spaces in a company, so what will be my cost to set up those 4 co-working spaces? How much money I will incur to get that much customers? That is called cost of customer acquisition. So I can calculate that and I can arrive at the valuation for my co-working space business. Similarly, for some businesses, there can be book value. Book value means the assets lying in the company. अगर आज कंपनी का slump sale कर देते हैं, अगर हमें sale कर देते हैं कंपनी का to let's suppose any person, so what is the asset value which I will get into the company? So that is known as book value. So book value and market value are different things. So for Reliance Industries Limited, the book value may be 3 lakh crores, but its market value is more than 9 lakh crores. So that's the difference between book value and market value. Then comes market multiple and valuation by stage. We will be discussing these aspects today. And why it is an art? Because it depends that how strong is our team, how probable are the leads in the pipeline, whether there is some technology or not, and how useful is the product or service into our business, right? So broadly speaking, there are 3 methods of valuation of the company. One is the asset-based valuation method, in which we see that how much is the value of the assets which are lying into the company. Then there is an income-based business valuation, which tells that how much our company is capable of generating profits in future. And market multiple method means that what are the similar companies which have been recently funded and how their valuation have been done in the past. So we are going to deep dive into these methods. We will not discuss asset-based business valuation, because generally in startup ecosystem, we do not value them on the basis of assets, as in if you are starting a company, so it may not have any assets into it, right? So asset only when the company is required to be shut down, then we value any company on the asset based business valuation. Otherwise we do not value it on asset based business valuation. We value it either on income based business valuations or market based multiples, which we'll be going to discuss in detail in this presentation. So first we discuss discounted cash flow technique. So what is discounted cash flow technique? It says that for next 5 years, create your financial model. In that financial model, give that how much money you will be going to generate in future. In next 5 years, let's suppose I am starting a business, software as a service. Let's suppose I have a business which is into which is a tool for managing colleges, attendance of the colleges or learning management system of the colleges. And every college subscribes to it and pays me 100 rupees a year per student. Okay, so now I can make a financial model that how many colleges I will be having in future, and how many students will be there, and how many revenue I'll be generating out of it. So to give, just to show you people, so this is a kind of financial model we can create for our business, which says how much revenue I'll be generating from different streams, how much funding I will be needing, what will be the cash inflows, what will be outflows, what will be my revenue, what will be my expenses. So all these are linked over here. So we can see each, for revenue we have created a sheet, for expenses we have created a sheet, what are the assumptions we have taken. In the business you will be knowing that how many visitors are there on my website. When the visitors, for example, I have 1,000 visitors on my website, so out of thousands I receive 20 queries. Out of 20 I can convert 5 or 6 clients out of that thing. So I can find out what is my cost of customer acquisition, and all these assumptions are being taken while creating a financial model, right? You can do your sales forecast. Then you can see that how much people, how many people I will need in my company, what will be their salaries, what will be my total salary bill month on month wise for next 5 years. And on that basis we create this financial model, and on this financial model we give to the valuer, whosoever is valuing our company, right? So first is that we analyze historical financials and operations, and we see that what is the growth rate of the company. On that basis, we create a financial model, and we can say it as cash flow projections for future, which includes your revenue, expenses, capital expenditure, working capital, etc. Then we choose a appropriate discount rate. Okay, what is discount rate? So for example, if you do a FD, fixed deposit nowadays, yeah, I hope everything is fine.
Actually, sir, there is a question in the chat. So sheet is not shown. You are showing PPT.
Okay. So sheet was not shown. I'll show once again. Yeah. Can you able to see now?
No, sir, your PPT screen is not only visible, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Are you able to see now?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible, sir.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So see, this is a financial model which we build, wherein we have kind of revenue streams. What are our different revenue streams? You can see here revenue 1, revenue 2, revenue 3, and then it consists of all our analysis of the future. What will be our expenses? What will be the human resources we will be needing in a company? How we have done sales forecast. So all this has to be logically put. So whenever we'll be approaching investors, so they will be interested to know our story, and that story should be very logical, and that should be validated also, right? Similarly, we show what are the assumptions we have taken, what will be our monthly forecast, and on that basis we create a financial model and come out with the numbers, that how much will be the sales, how much will be the profits into the company. Okay. Yeah. So in financial modeling, what we do is we prepare a historical information. If our business is already for last 3 years, we see how much were the numbers. On that basis, we analyze and make assumptions that how much will be our revenue growth. Then we make projections of our cash flows, etc. And complete financial analysis we do, and we arrive at the valuation for our company. This is how it is done. What is discount factor? We were discussing that. So discount factor is, for example, if we are doing a fixed deposit, and nowadays if we do a fixed deposit of 1 crore rupees, that fixed deposit will give us an interest of 6 lakh rupees a year. Okay. So similarly, now our business has risk component. So if our business has some risk component, so the return should be more than the risk-free rate of return, that is 6%. So now we add that risk return to a risk-free rate of return to arrive at the discount factor, and that may come out anywhere between 15% to 25% for our business. And then we discount our future cash flows to arrive at the valuation. So I'll also show you that thing. Give me a second. So yeah, so we have done a valuation of an education technology company who were into online education. And because of this COVID, people are super interested to invest into education technologies. So these company has given us their past data, and they have given a financial model wherein they have given that how much revenue they will be making in future. I hope everyone can see sheet now, the Excel sheet.
Yes, sir. It's
Okay,
visible.
okay. Okay, okay, nice. So in this, you can see that we have made a revenue projections, and then they have given the expenditure, that how much expenditure they will be making year on year. Okay, so they have calculated this month on month, and we have consolidated the data in a simple format to know how much expenditure they'll be incurring year on year and how much profit they'll be making. So there is a term called EBITDA. That means earning before interest, depreciation, tax, and amortization. Okay, so that means the operating profit which our company will be making. So they have given how much operating profit company will be making. After that, we have deducted the tax component, and we got how much profit after tax that company would be generating. On that basis, we created a balance sheet for the company. So this is the balance sheet. Those of you who are not from commerce background, uh, maybe not familiar with these terms, but balance sheet is basically the, uh, the complete picture of our business, that how much assets we have and how much money we owe to others. On that basis, we arrive at a cash flow statement. So our profits may be different from the cash our company may be generating. Okay, so how can that be possible? For example, if we are making a profit of 1 crore rupees, and out of that 1 crore we buy a machine for 50 lakh rupees, then our cash flow is only 50 lakh rupees. Similarly, we may earn a profit of 1 crore rupees, but people may owe us 50 lakh rupees. अभी 1 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट तो कमा लिया, लेकिन 50 लाख रुपए अभी आने बाकी है हमारे डेटर्स से, जो पैसे हमारे पास आए नहीं हैं, and they may come in future. So our cash flow is only 50 lakh rupees and not 1 crore rupees. So we have to make certain adjustments to arrive at the cash flow. What is the cash flow? So we have arrived over here कि first year they will do a cash flow of 1 crore 46 lakh rupees, then 3 crore 57, then 5 crore 85 lakhs, and finally 18 crore rupees in year 5. And on that basis, we have done a discounting to arrive at the valuation of the company, and the valuation has come out to be 76 crore rupees. We have done some discounting, and finally the valuation of the company came out to be 43 crore rupees using the discounted cash flow method. Okay. Yeah. So this is how we value company using discounted cash flow technique. Moving further to relative pricing model. So relative pricing model is that we see which companies are competitors. These competitors may be direct competitors or they may be indirect competitors. और इनकी कितनी valuation हुई है, इनकी कितनी sales हैं, इनकी कितनी funding हुई है. So all data we collect for our competitors, and then we arrive at a multiple. Okay, and that multiple we multiply with our current revenue to arrive at the valuation. So I will show you that aspect also. Yeah. So this company was into an education technology company. So we found out data for 3 education technology companies, that is Vedantu, Baiju, and Unacademy. And in this exercise, what we did is we find out what were their sales figure, 10 crores, 1341 crores, 11 crores, and what were their profit and loss. How many are their monthly website visits? What is the total funding they have raised till date? Who are the lead investors into the company? What's the valuation of the company currently? Right, and how many number of employees they have. So we got all the data. At the end, what we have done is we found out what is their sales in last year, that is 18-19, and what was their valuations near March 2019. Okay, so for example, Vedantu was valued at 10, was having sales of 10 crore rupees and their valuation was 700 crore rupees. Baiju had a sales of 1341 crore rupees and their valuation was 37,800 crore rupees. So now we divided their valuations with the sales they have done in last year to arrive at a multiple. Okay, so a lot of people may not be able to catch what I am saying, so you can write in chat box if you are not able to understand, but it is very interesting to know that how can loss making Baiju can be valued at 37,800 crore rupees. That's a huge sum of money, right? So that's how we have done this exercise, and we would like to share with you that they have been valued at 29 times their revenue. सो अगर इनका रेवेन्यू 1 रुपए है तो इनकी वैल्यूएशन 29 रुपीज हुई है. तो अगर इनका रेवेन्यू 1341 है तो इनकी वैल्यूएशन 37,800 करोड़ रुपए हुई है. तो हमने तीनों का मल्टीपल निकाला, वेदांतु का, अनअकैडमी का और बाइजू का. इसमें से सबसे कम मल्टीपल आया बाइजू का, और अनअकैडमी और वेदांतु का आप देख सकते हैं कि 67 का हमारे पास मल्टीपल आया. So this is not a financial statement, Harsh. This is basically a research work, and this is a crux of that research work. Out of the financial statements of these three companies, we have taken out their financial statements, and on that basis we have compiled this summary, right? तो उसके बेसिस पे हमने निकाला कि इनके कितना मल्टीपल है, एंड ऑन दैट बेसिस व्हाट वी हैव डन इज कि हमने बोला कि जो हमारा स्टार्टअप है एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी में, उनका जो है कितना रेवेन्यू है. उनका रेवेन्यू है आज की डेट में, व्हाट आर दे डूइंग इज दे आर सेलिंग 15 कोर्सेज पर डे, and that one course is for 4,500 rupees, and we have taken an assumption that they will operate 22 days a month. So they are having a revenue of 1 crore 78 lakh rupees a year. और 1 करोड़ 78 lakhs पे अगर हम बाइजू का एक मल्टीपल ले लेते हैं 28 का, तो इनकी वैल्यूएशन होनी चाहिए 50 करोड़ रुपए की, right? So this is how we can see कि how much is our revenue, and on that basis we can calculate the multiple of the companies which have been recently funded, और उसका multiply करके हम देख सकते हैं कि what is the right valuation for my business or my company. Yeah. So this is we have discussed two types of valuation method. One is discounted cash flow and second is the market multiple. Discounted cash flow में क्या करते हैं हम फ्यूचर के कैश फ्लो निकालते हैं. हम अगले 5 सालों का देखते हैं कि कंपनी की कितनी सेल्स होगी, कितना एक्सपेंसेस होगा, कितना प्रॉफिट होगा, और उसकी हम प्रेजेंट वैल्यू निकाल लेते हैं टू अराइव एट द वैल्यूएशन ऑफ द कंपनी. दूसरा मेथड क्या किया हमने, मार्केट मल्टीपल मेथड, जिसमें हम कहते हैं कि हमारे जो कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं उनकी कितनी फंडिंग हुई है और उनको कितने मल्टीपल पे वैल्यूएशन हुई है, उस हिसाब से वो मल्टीपल कैलकुलेट करके हमारी कितनी सेल्स है उससे हमने मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया टू अराइव एट द मार्केट मल्टीपल मेथड ऑफ द वैल्यूएशन, राइट? अब तीसरा आते हैं वैल्यूएशन बाय स्टेज मेथड. हम सब तो कॉलेज के बच्चे हैं, अभी तो हमने बिजनेस स्टार्ट भी नहीं किया है, ना तो हमारा रेवेन्यू है ना हमारा प्रॉफिट है, तो हमारे लिए तो ये वैलिड नहीं हुआ. तो हाउ डू वी अराइव एट द वैल्यूएशन फॉर आवर स्टार्टअप और फॉर आवर वेंचर? So based on the experience of Silicon Valley, there are two methods which have been put by some people. और ये जो है methods एक startup ecosystem में due to the trends which have been observed in the past, they have come out these valuation methods. So this is called as valuation by stage method and valuation by Barkas method. Yeah. So Kushal is saying, sir, that we are comparing our valuation with the other companies. So इसका क्या ये logical है और इसकी क्या assurance है कि हम उस valuation पे पहुंच जाएंगे? तो Kushal, what happens is in the even if we compare about Nifty or Sensex, the companies which are listed, अगर हमारी कंपनी है TCS और एक कंपनी है Infosys, तो जो हमारे पास रिकमेंडेशन आती है वो कैसे आती है? वो ऐसी आती है कि यार निफ्टी जो है वो अपने प्रॉफिट की इबिटा की 5 टाइम्स पर इस समय ऑपरेट कर रही है मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन, लेकिन टीसीएस जो है अपने इबिटा के 4 टाइम्स पर है अभी लिस्टेड. तो हमें जो है टीसीएस में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए क्योंकि इसका जो इंडस्ट्री मल्टीपल है वो 5 आ रहा है और हमें जो है एक अच्छी कंपनी का इंडस्ट्री मल्टीपल से कम मिल रहा है, तो वी शुड इन्वेस्ट इन दैट कंपनी. सो ये जो मार्केट मल्टीपल मेथड है, मोस्ट कॉमन मेथड है ऑफ वैल्यूइंग कंपनीज अक्रॉस वर्ल्ड, अक्रॉस ऑल स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस, राइट? तो ये डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो मेथड आप कह सकते हो कि अ बिट kind of theoretical concept है, although it is very valid and very right method to do so, but the most prominent method is market multiple method and it is the most logical method. अगर हम जाते हैं अपनी प्रॉपर्टी बेचने एक लोकेलिटी में, तो हम देखते हैं कि आसपास के फ्लैट वहाँ पे लास्ट डील कितने की हुई थी, कितने की बिकी थी, तो हमें एक कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है यार हमारी भी इतने की बिक सकती है. So this is a similar kind of market research method which we use for valuation of the companies, right? Yeah. Coming back to our valuation by stage method. So in stage method हम कह सकते हैं कि if we have an existing business idea, then you can value our company at 2.5 lakhs dollars, that is somewhere around 2 crore rupees to 3.5 crore rupees. Then if we have a strong management and a good plan, then we can add some more value to it. If we have a final product or prototype, तो हम और थोड़ा value कर सकते हैं. तो similarly हमारे जो customer alliances हैं या हमारी strategic partnership है, आपकी Reliance के साथ partnership हो गई, आपकी किसी बड़ी कंपनी के साथ जोमेटो स्विगी के साथ टाई अप हो गया, तो उसमें थोड़ा सा हम और वैल्यूएशन आपकी ऐड कर लेंगे और ऐसे हम अराइव हो जाएंगे अपनी वैल्यूएशन पे, राइट? तो हम कह सकते हैं जब इंडिया के अंदर बेस्ड ऑन आवर एक्सपीरियंस जितने भी हमारे क्लाइंट्स फंडेड हैं, तो उसके बेसिस पे व्हाट we have learned is in the starting we can value our company anywhere between 2 crore rupees to 3.5 crore rupees. Once we start getting the revenue और थोड़ा सा revenue model proof हो जाता है, validation हो जाती है, तब कंपनी को जो है फंडिंग मिल जाती है अराउंड 10 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन पर. देन वो थोड़ा सा और मैच्योर करती है मार्केट में, अब जो है रेवेन्यू स्मूथ हो जाता है, प्रोसेसेस स्मूथ हो जाते हैं, थोड़े स्ट्रेटेजिक लोग आ जाते हैं, एंजल इन्वेस्टमेंट वगैरह क्लोज हो जाती है, तो देन दे वैल्यू देमसेल्व्स एट 20 करोड़ टू 30 करोड़ रुपीस और 3 to 4 million dollar, and then they prepare themselves for series A round from VC funding, और उसमें जो है वैल्यूएशन पे they go at higher valuations, right? Burkus method is a similar method in which they say that they give a $500,000 valuation for these different factors like sound idea, prototype, quality management team, strategic relation and product rollout or sales. तो अभी आइडिया है तो आपको 3.5 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन दे दी, प्रोटोटाइप रेडी है तो 7 करोड़ की दे दी, क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट टीम है आपकी तो उसने और $500,000 ऐड कर दिया, रिलेशनशिप्स है तो और कर दिया. तो these Burkus method and stage method, there is no science behind it, but it is based on the experience of startup ecosystem and the investments which have come into the startup ecosystem, right? Now, based on which stage of business our company is into, we apply different approaches to value our company. तो अगर हम बहुत ही ज्यादा स्टार्टअप आइडिएशन स्टेज पे जैसे हम लोग हैं अभी, लेट्स सपोज, तो हम अपनी वैल्यूएशन कैसे निकालेंगे? तो हम अपनी वैल्यूएशन निकाल सकते हैं थ्रू वैल्यूएशन बाय स्टेज मेथड और बर्कस मेथड, और वी कैन यूज अ डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो टेक्निक कि how much revenue our company would be generating in future. Of course there are questions, एक्सेल शीट बनाना आसान है, एक्चुअल नंबर्स बनाना मुश्किल है, but we may be able to get a valuation for a company based on our financial model. Yeah, so Harsh is saying that in Burkus method, why don't we consider the skills or qualifications of team member? Yeah, Harsh, so we basically consider and quality management team, like you can see over here. So if we have a quality management team, that means that we are considering the skills or qualifications of team member and the experience which they have prior to starting off this startup, right? Just give me a second. Yeah. So अभी हम आइडिएशन स्टेज पे, फिर हम आते हैं रैपिड एक्सपेंशन स्टेज पे. रैपिड एक्सपेंशन कहते हैं जब हमारी सेल जो है 100 गुना बढ़ रही है, 10 टाइम्स बढ़ रही है, 30 टाइम्स बढ़ रही है. तो एक फेज था जिसके अंदर पेटीएम, ओयो, ओला, दे एक्सपेंडेड लाइक एनीथिंग. So that was in rapid expansion stage, and now they are in high growth stage. They are growing by 15%, 20%, 30%. So that may be known as growth stage. But when they are growing multiple times, that may be known as rapid expansion stage. जब हमारा business rapid expansion stage में होता है, तो हम income approach, that is a discounted cash flow, plus we see a market approach, that is revenue multiples. ओके, रेवेन्यू के अलावा भी बहुत सारे मल्टीपल्स हम आज की डेट में स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में कैलकुलेट करते हैं. एनीवन नोज दैट हाउ मच वाज Flipkart sold to Walmart? When Flipkart was sold to Walmart, what was the valuation of Flipkart? Yeah, any guesses? We would be happy to get answers from your side. Any wild guess would also work. We want you to participate over here. या जब फ्लिपकार्ट वॉलमार्ट को सेल हुआ था तो फ्लिपकार्ट की कितनी वैल्यूएशन हुई थी? What was the valuation of Flipkart? No one? Any guesses? Okay, Flipkart was sold for $21 billion. How much is $21 billion? Anyone knows? So $21 billion is 1.5 lakh crores of Indian rupees. तो इतनी Flipkart की valuation हुई थी and Flipkart was all loss making company and still it was valued so high, and the founders of Flipkart held only 6% equity in Flipkart and they got $1 billion. $1 billion is 7 crore rupees in Indian rupees. Okay, तो अभी जो है जब उनकी transaction हुई थी they were valued 3 times their GMV, and GMV is gross merchandise value. Gross merchandise value is कि Flipkart के प्लेटफॉर्म पर कितना माल बिक रहा है. Right? तो Flipkart का रेवेन्यू क्या है? उसकी सेल्स, उसका सेल्स जो है that is the commission which they earn on selling the product. But GMV is the gross value of the goods which are sold on the platform of Flipkart. So when Flipkart was sold to Walmart, it was valued at 3 times their GMV. तो जब हम स्टार्टिंग फेज पर होते हैं ना तो हम मल्टीपल देख लेते हैं अपने GMV का, अपने YouTube फॉलोअर्स का, अपनी ऐप के डाउनलोड कितने हैं उनका देख लेते हैं, कितने हमारे सब्सक्रिप्शन हैं उनका देख लेते हैं, कोवर्किंग स्पेस है तो देख लेते हैं कितने हमारे डेस्क हैं, कितनी मेंबरशिप्स हैं, उसका हम देख लेते हैं. राइट, जब कंपनी बड़ी होती है तो हम उनका मल्टीपल देखते हैं रेवेन्यू का. राइट, और जब कंपनी मैच्योर हो जाती है तो हम उनका मल्टीपल देखते हैं प्रॉफिट्स का. तो अगर हम अपनी एक्सरसाइज में वापस आए जो हमने एक एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी के लिए करी, तो हमने उनका मल्टीपल देखा रेवेन्यू का. बिकॉज दे आर नॉट अ मैच्योर कंपनी, इट डजंट मेक सेंस कि हम उनके प्रॉफिट का मल्टीपल करें एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. हमने उनकी दो मेथड से वैल्यूएशन करी, एक डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो मेथड से और एक मार्केट मल्टीपल मेथड से. डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो मेथड से उनकी वैल्यूएशन आई 43 करोड़ की और मार्केट मल्टीपल के मेथड से आई उनकी 50 करोड़ रुपीस. और दोनों में हमने वेट अलाइन किया 0.5 0.5 0.5 0.5 करके वी अराइव्ड एट द वैल्यूएशन ऑफ 46 करोड़ 61 लाख रुपीस फॉर that education technology startup. Right now they can go to investor and they can negotiate these numbers with the investor. Initially when they were going, so they were going with a valuation in mind for 10 crore rupees. लेकिन अभी जो है उनके पास एक रिपोर्ट है जिससे वो जा सकते हैं और अपने आप को 47 करोड़ रुपीस की वैल्यूएशन उनसे डिमांड कर सकते हैं. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि उनको 47 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन पे फंडिंग मिल जाएगी, बट इन्वेस्टर वुड बी वेरी हैप्पी टू सी दिस एक्सरसाइज, क्योंकि इन्वेस्टर्स का क्या बिजनेस है कि हाउ टू मल्टीप्लाई देयर फंड्स. So they'll understand that when this person has done this exercise with me to negotiate, of course in future they can get a very good deal out of this business model. तो वो 10 करोड़ पे थे और ये 47 करोड़ पे, तो anywhere between 20 crores to 25 crore rupees उनकी डील फाइनलाइज हो सकती है, and they may have to dilute less what they were actually thinking for, right? Or they may end up raising more money than what they were initially planning. So friends, this is about valuation, how we value these startups. So we have discussed broadly 3 methods today: discounted cash flow method, market multiple method, and valuation by stage methods. Asset based method we have discussed in brief, but we do not discuss in detail because it's not so relevant for valuation purposes. Now whenever any company raise funding, so there are compliances which they have to do. So whenever there is a funding process, so what you have to do is, for your startup, first of all you need to prepare an investment pitch deck, a financial model and a business plan. ये 3 डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो है आप प्रिपेयर करते हो, एक फाइनेंशियल मॉडल, एक पिच डेक, एक बिजनेस प्लान, और फिर आप इन्वेस्टर्स को अप्रोच करते हो. जब इन्वेस्टर्स इंटरेस्ट शो करते हैं तो आपका जो है डिस्कशन होता है, मीटिंग होती है, कॉल्स होती हैं, एंड देन there is a term sheet which is signed. In that term sheet there are a lot of terms, that what is the valuation of the company, what kind of shares will be issued, what will be the rights of the investors into the company, whether they can see the books of accounts or whether they have board seat or not. ये सारे डिस्कशन होता है हमारा एक टर्म शीट के अंदर. जब एक टर्म शीट साइन हो जाती है तो उसके बाद आपकी कंपनी का ड्यू डिलिजेंस होता है. ड्यू डिलीजेंस में चेकिंग होती है कंपनी की. देयर आर डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ड्यू डिलीजेंस. वन इज द टेक्निकल ड्यू डिलीजेंस, जिसके अंदर देखते हैं अगर आपका टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड बिजनेस है तो वेदर दैट टेक्नोलॉजी इज वर्किंग फाइन और नॉट. देयर इज अ फाइनेंशियल ड्यू डिलीजेंस, जिसके अंदर कि कुछ फ्रॉड एंड एरर तो नहीं है. एंड देयर इज अ लीगल ड्यू डिलीजेंस, जिसके अंदर देखते हैं सारे कंप्लायंसेस प्रॉपर्ली है या नहीं. Then once due diligence is done, there is a shareholder agreement that is signed, and through private placement of shares or right issue of shares, you issue shares to the investors. And for issuing shares to investors, you need a valuation report. That valuation report you need from two people, one from registered valuer as per IBBI and one from merchant banker, which is registered under SEBI. So if you are registered under Startup India and you have filed a form with startupindia.gov.in, तब आपको इसके ऊपर इनकम टैक्स नहीं लगता है. एंड एज पर इनकम टैक्स फिर आपको मर्चेंट बैंकर की वैल्यूएशन नहीं चाहिए होती है, राइट. So this may sound bit technical to you people if you do not have business or startup yet, but once you start a business, it becomes very, very relevant for you. So Harsh is asking, is there any scientific method to get those weights when doing valuation? Okay, so no, there is no scientific methods, Harsh. This is a personal discretion of the valuer. Every valuer has his own discretion, and it will depend on the valuer to valuer that how many weights we have to align to each method. So somebody may align 0.9% to, market multiple method and 0.1 to discounted cash flow, because he may think that market multiple is the most relevant thing and discounted cash flow may not be. So it's a personal discretion of the valuer, right? So on what basis does negotiation proceed? Yeah, okay. So negotiation, we are part of lot of investor meetings generally. So as a part of negotiation, see, investors are the smarter people. They are investing into multiple businesses and they have past experiences of investing into similar businesses. So when we go and meet them, so they may say that we will be investing at 15 crore rupees of valuation and you may be asking for 25 crore rupees of valuation. Then we need to showcase that how strong is our product. We have to show that how much traction we have got, and then we can compare it with other people. For example, there is a client of ours who is into hotel booking thing, and they are a hotel booking platform. Now they were raising a fund and then they asked for 21 crore rupees valuation from their investor, but the investor was ready to give them at the valuation of 12 crore rupees. So now they found out a competitor, MI Stay is their competitor, and then they find out their financials and their valuation report, and they found out that their revenue was equal to the revenue of their competitor, and then how they were valued. On that basis, they negotiated and the deal got done at 17 crore rupees. So this is how we negotiate with the investors. Of course, these people are very smart people, and we cannot be harsh with them. We have to be very smart in tackling with the investors. And if our startup is a very good startup idea, if we are very good team, so these investors, they are hunting out for these kind of projects. So it's like a win-win situation for the investor and for us also. Yeah, so Shubham is asking that how do we allot shares to investors? Yeah, so if we talk about the process of allotting shares to investors, we allot it through private placement of shares as per Companies Act. So what happens is companies comes out with an issue that they are coming out with an issue, and the people subscribe for that issue, pays check into the company's account, and then companies out of that, in respect of that money, they issue shares to the investors. Yeah. So this is there are two methods. One is that investors are buying the founder shares, and second is the investment is coming into the company and company is allotting further shares to the investors, right? Okay, so term sheet, we discussed that it's very important document and it's the beginning of getting investments into a company. So term sheet is focuses on material business terms. It's not a legal document. Term sheet is only a document in layman language so that we can understand each other terms. It's not enforceable by law. When we create a shareholder agreement, that's a legal version of term sheet, because we may not be able to understand the legal language. That's why we create a term sheet and then we go for a shareholder agreement. These are certain terms which are generally into the term sheet. So how much is the ESOP pool, or if in future we want to sell the company, who will get money first, who will be the board of directors, etc., etc., are the terms which are there in the term sheet. We should avoid that certain terms, that we should not give redemption rights. So what happened in the case of Oyo? So Ritesh Agarwal has to take a loan from Cayman Islands to buy back existing existing investors. So that we should try doing, avoid doing that. Then milestone based financing also we should avoid. What is milestone based? कि यार अभी तो मैं तुम्हें टोटल में 5 करोड़ दूंगा, अभी मैं 1 करोड़ दे रहा हूँ, फिर तुम let's suppose एक level पे पहुंच जाते तब और दूंगा. So in that case, if we do not achieve that milestone, we may have increased our expenses a lot. So in one of our cases, there was a commitment by the investor to invest 1 crore rupees. He invested 20 lakh rupees into that business, and that startup hired entire team, etc. And their monthly expenditure rose to 6 lakh rupees. But after 20 lakh rupees, that investor did not invested any further money into the business, and then it was a complete startup was in a very difficult situation. So we should try to avoid this. We should not give any unnecessary fees. If the person is adding any strategic advisory or strategic value to our company, then it's okay. Otherwise, we should avoid giving any fees to advisors or people who are so-called mentors, right? So what are the different sources from where as a startup we can raise funds? One is bootstrapping. So bootstrapping means, what do we mean by bootstrapping? Anyone? Yeah. Who will tell what do we mean by bootstrapping? Okay, Harsh is saying jugaad. So bootstrapping means that we put our own savings and funds into the business, and we put our own money to start a business. That is known as bootstrapping. Then we have incubators and accelerators. Incubators and accelerators are the people who give wings to your idea. You go there, they will give you investor connects, they will invest little bit into your company, they will give you business connects, and they will give you mentoring so that you can launch your businesses. Then crowdfunding. Crowdfunding means on a website you put your business idea and people may invest in that. In India, crowdfunding is not legal, but there are platforms overseas where crowdfunding is legal. Then financial institutions are there, we can raise funding from. Venture capitalists are there, Sequoia Capital, Matrix Partners, and many venture capitalists are there. Angel networks nowadays is a very good concept, wherein group of HNIs come and then there is invest into a startup. So what happens in angel network is, for example, you as a startup go there and you present in front of 100 people. Now those 100 people will invest 5 lakh rupees each maybe. Okay, and then you may get 5 crore rupees investment into a company. Then, yeah, once the company matures, then you may come out with an IPO. Can you name any Indian startup which has an IPO or which is listed in India? Yeah.
Sorry, sir, to interrupt. Ankit, can you please turn off your mic? Sogotoda, can you please turn mute all? Accept, sir.
I think it's fine now. Yes. Yeah. So I'm asking you people कि इंडिया का कौन सा ऐसा स्टार्टअप है यार जिसका आईपीओ आया हुआ है? Which is the Indian startup which has come out with an IPO? बताओ फ्रेंड्स, अगर नहीं बताएंगे तो हम कैसे अपना वहां तक ले जाएंगे? Okay, so all of you would have heard about Naukri.com. So it's a company which started in India in 1997 and they are a listed company. Oyo is not a listed company as of now. So then we have a company called IndiaMart. IndiaMart is also a technology platform and they have a share listed on the stock exchange. Then we have a company called Make My Trip. Everyone knows that. We have a company called Yatra.com. So these companies are the internet enabled businesses which are listed in India. Okay, we have BharatMatrimony.com, matrimonial website also listed on stock exchange. So when these company can have a,
Hello.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I am telling everyone, don't sir. Are you annotating?
No, no, I am not doing. Yeah.
I am requesting everyone, don't annotate on the screen. It's very uh, bad expression from our end. Sorry, sir. Actually, it's a misuse of the annotation. So,
Not a
sir,
problem. These are part and parcel of life.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
So,
So I request everyone, don't annotate on the screen. Okay.
so friends, these are some startups which have grown really very well and they have come out with an IPO. The point is that we need to start thinking what should we do so that we can change the fortune of we can change our fortune, our family fortune. It is not that it is very difficult nowadays to do. I have many startup clients which are earning in crores. We have a client who was into education technology and they were having a Facebook page and they used to help BTech students to prepare for GATE exams, and they have a question bank for that. And with that Facebook page they were earning 3 crore rupees a year. They were having a question bank, and they used to give some gifts also out of their question banks whosoever get that right. So these kind of business ideas are there nowadays, that with simple technology people are earning in crores of rupees, and that startup has been acquired by an academy recently. Okay, so there are more examples wherein people have just started off from a small place. They have come out with an e-commerce website and they are doing very well. Even if they are not funded, they are earning 4 lakhs 5 lakh rupees a month, and they do not have any corporate experience. So it's we need to start thinking, and for that we should get some information, as in what are the startups which are prevailing in India, what are the startups which has really made big name in China, in US, and in other startup ecosystems. So if you talk about Alibaba, so Alibaba is a simple website wherein it connects the manufacturers of China to the other people who want to export or import things in the other countries. So a kind of directory. So these kind of ideas we can have, and all of you maybe as a college students, we should get some skill set nowadays. Digital marketing and coding, it should be the part of the curriculum basically, and irrespective one is in which field, these should be the part of the things. And even in my free time I like to learn about digital marketing and other aspects. Being a commerce student, this is not something of my domain, but still nowadays for doing any business or even if we are doing our job, so we should be very well versed about all these aspects, right? So friends, in startup we generally do not get money from the banks. We generally get money from the shareholders or the investors who invest into the company. These are the different stages of the business. So if we are into very early stage, so we are dependent on our personal savings, what we call as bootstrapping. And then there are friends and family rounds, so we call it triple F: friends, family and fools rounds. कि यार या तो फ्रेंड सपोर्ट करेंगे या फैमिली करेंगे या फिर किसी को पागल बना के पैसे डलवा लेते हैं हम अर्ली स्टेज में. Then once we grow, then there are venture capitalists and angel funds which invest into our company. That is called as seed fund, and anywhere between 100k to 1.5 million means 60 lakh 70 lakh rupees to 3.5 crore rupees we raise over here. Series A, series B, then the series ABC thing starts, that is known as VC funding. And in every round the valuation of the company goes. So Vedantu today was in the newspaper that they have raised another 100 million and their valuation is doubled. So at every round the valuation keeps on increasing. In each round you usually dilute between 15 to 30% of your company, and raise further rounds, right? These are top venture capital firms in India: Sequoia Capital, Haloin Ventures. As a student, even if we do not have any intention to start on our own startup, we should aspire to get hired into these companies, and it is a super interesting field. It is a very rewarding career. As a even if we want to do that, so we should definitely try to be part of VC firms, because this will give us so much exposure into different business models, analyzing businesses and what are the topmost ideas, game changing ideas into the world as on date, right? So friends, this is all about our presentation today. We discussed about valuations. We discussed a little bit about, term sheets and what are the compliances at the time of funding and how we can approach investors for raising funding. We also saw a financial model and a valuation working. How does it look like? And I hope it was useful and you people would have understood something out of it. So we are open to take question and answers if we have any, and then we can wind up. Yeah. So Kushal is asking, what is meant by dilution here? So dilution means, for example, I am the 100% owner of my company at this moment. Now the investor comes and I need to allot him 20% shares. So when the investor will come, he will put money into the company, he will get 20% of the company, I will be left with 80% of the company. So I have diluted my 20% stake into the company. Okay, Harsh has a lot of questions. Harsh is saying, what is difference between VC and PE? Okay, so VC basically, Harsh, is a investor who has a bigger risk appetite. They invest into startups with an intention of multiplying their money manifold times. Private equity, on the other hand, is a mature investor who puts in bigger checks, bigger amount of money into the company, but they put money into the mature stage of the company. So if we are into exponential growth stage, VCs invest. If we are into a mature stage, then private equity investors invest. Private equity investor कहता है कि we should have a year on year 30% annual CAGR growth rate into our company. We should have a profitable business model. हमारा जो है 15 से 20% profit होना चाहिए हमारी net उस पर net sales पर, और जो है हमारा एक past record होना चाहिए 4-5 years का for growth of business. लेकिन VC क्या कहता है कि मैं 50 businesses में invest करूंगा, उसमें से 10 चलेंगे, 40 बंद हो जाएंगे. जो 10 चलेंगे, they will give me multifold funding. So there was when Oyo in a person invested in Oyo 25 lakh rupees and he in 2012 and he encashed 62.5 crore rupees in year 2016. Similarly, a person invested 40 lakh rupees in Paytm in 2008 and his valuation is worth 800 crores as on date. तो VC investor इन चीजों को देखता है. Private equity थोड़ा सा later stage पर आता है जब business एक settle हो जाता है. Secondly, you are asking what is the difference between IB and merchant banker. ठीक है. तो IBBI means Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. ठीक है. तो IBBI, so as per Companies Act notification, any valuation which has to be done after 31st January 2019 as per Companies Act. Okay, sorry. So he means IB as investment bank. So investment bank is basically the people who would be helping you for coming out with an IPO, or who will be helping you to search out for a investor for your company, right? Merchant bank do a similar kind of exercise also. They do investment banking also. Other than that, merchant bank has a lot more feature. They have been listed under SEBI and they help company to come out with an IPO. They make a market making क्या होता है, जब आपका share list होता है stock exchange में, so they have to make sure कि उसका rate बहुत ज़्यादा fluctuate ना हो. So this is all legal. They buy and sell securities in a way so that shares का price ज़्यादा fluctuate ना हो. Secondly, they do valuations of the company. They come out with a prospectus for issuing shares to the investors and do all the compliances part of it when a company is coming out with an IPO. So that is merchant banker, and investment banking is linked more with fundraising thing if your company is looking out for raising funding. So merchant banker also do investment banking things. So Divakar is saying, what is angel investors? So angel investors basically means small people, small investors who come into the company. So nowadays, a lot of HNIs. Do you know who are HNIs? HNI is high net worth individual. So a definition of HNI, I can tell you in simple terms कि किसी की भी $1 million से ज़्यादा की net worth है other than their प्राइमरी रेजिडेंस. सो हमारा एक घर है, उसके अलावा हमारे पास $1 million. $1 million इज 7-7.5 करोड़ रुपए. तो आप सब देख सकते हैं कि हमारे मे बी वी आर HNIs और नॉट. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि अगर हमारा एक घर है और हमारे पास 7-7.5 करोड़ के इसके अलावा कुछ नेटवर्थ है तो वी आर HNI. सो व्हाट हैपेंस नाउअडेज कि HNIs जो है एक ग्रुप बना लेते हैं और ये जो है बिजनेसेस के अंदर, स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. तो ये इन्वेस्ट करते हैं 5 लाख रुपीस, 10 लाख रुपीस, 20 लाख रुपीस, ऐसे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं एक स्टार्टअप के अंदर. तो इन्हें बोल दिया जाता है एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स. दैट दीज आर द इन्वेस्टर्स हु हैव कम आउट एज एन एंजल फॉर द बिजनेस एंड given the wings to the business to grow, and these are known as angel investors. And nowadays there are a lot of angel networks. which have formed the groups of HNIs, and they also add a lot of strategic value to the company. For example, अगर आपका कोई SaaS based business model है और आपके पास कोई angel investor आ जाता है जो HCL में एक senior position पे है, तो he can help your product to market well. He can help lot of value addition into your business otherwise also, right? Okay, so Devarun is asking, can a product-based startup alone run initially by bootstrapping, considering all efforts in the technologies and all processes in the making? Yes, Devarun, there are a lot of businesses who are bootstrapped. There are a lot of startups who are bootstrapped. So there is a Cloud Pony platform. What's the name of the cloud? So there is a cloud telephony startup in India, which is bootstrapped till date, and it's a very famous. I am not getting the name of it, but there are lot many startups which are bootstrapped, and they are doing very good, and they are profitable also. Even Starter CFO till date is bootstrapped, and it's good profitable venture that is doing. So it's completely possible that a product-based startup can run on by bootstrapping. However, if we get funding from outside, the speed grows कि यार हम कर तो लेंगे लेकिन funding मिल गई तो दुनिया पे छा जाएंगे 2 साल के अंदर ही. So that kind of thing is there in ecosystem, but speed is slow, but it's all lot of businesses are running profitably. Yeah. Right. So Shayantani has a question. Sir, there are many startups who give out their products in free. In this case, what are their revenue streams? How they are earning crores? Very nice question. So you may be saying कि अभी Paytm है. Paytm, if we are not talking about Paytm Mall, if we talk about Paytm as a software or as a wallet. So Paytm wallet तो cashback भी दे रहे हैं यार. जब वो इतने पैसे खर्च कर रहे हैं तो उसे पैसे मिल कहाँ से रहे? So this is the beauty of the startup ecosystem, that they have hidden revenue streams. If we talk about Paytm, so they have the commissions from the merchants which they get, and they have some advertising revenue which they are earning. So we have a client which had a education tech app, and their app is into 18 local languages, and that app helps people to prepare for SSC examination, government jobs. So it's all complete free. All the courses on that app is free. But what happens is they have 90 lakhs download of that app. But what happens is there is a small advertisement which goes on over there. So this advertiser company pays them revenue. So they have some alternative, things as their revenue models. Secondly, what happens is that they want to change the habit of the people. They want to change. Once we become habitual of, for example, Zoom, if we talk about Zoom, they have a free version which is 40 minutes, and then they have a premium version. So we call it freemium model. So जनता के लिए free model है, but there are, if 1 lakh people are using their products, so out of 1 lakh people, at least 2,000 will make payment to them because they see the value in that, and it is wide used product. So this is a freemium model which lot of businesses are using. Even your Google, so we have free Gmail, we have free Google search engine, but there are enterprise version of it which is paid version. Similarly, your Google Maps, it's all free. We cannot see that anyone is paying for Google Maps, but if Ola or Uber is using Google Maps, so they have to pay for that, right? So this is the kind of profits which these startups are making, and then there are advertisement thing which revenue which they generate. Okay. Nice.
Yes, sir. I think Nandlar Kumar, are you want to tell something? Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please, you can write down in the chat box below. Kushal, can you please take over?
Yeah, I think I think people would have got some value in the seminar, and they would have got some steps wherein when they'll be starting, or if they are already doing a business, then what are the steps to think when they are keeping a close watch on their competitors and preparing a financial model, right? So yeah, over to you, Kushal. In case there are any questions, we'll be happy to take it. Or all of you can approach us. You can follow us on LinkedIn, or you can send your LinkedIn invite to us. Abhishek Gupta, Starter CFO. You can type. You'll find my profile, and you can connect to me, and you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, so that you are well aware of all the seminars or sessions we keep on conducting.
Thank you so much, sir. We do not have any more questions as of now, and we definitely reach to you if we have other questions
Sure.
over the LinkedIn account. And thank you so much for enlightening us with those insightful datas and giving us all the valuable information that all of us required. And with this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you, sir, for joining us. And thanks to all the audience present over here. It was lovely to have all of you. And it was lovely to hear from sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. It's my pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We're really fortunate to have you with us, sir.
Okay, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so bye all. It was nice interacting with you. Have a nice day.
Goodbye, sir. Have a nice day,
Goodbye,
sir.
sir.
Bye.
Thank
Okay, bye.
Right. So moving forward to the next thing, I would request Protyada, is everything has been recorded properly? Or